G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Now if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and get ready for some bloody good content. Thank you. Posted by user throwaway16482900. Titled, I found my boyfriend's engagement ring. So my boyfriend asked me to grab his Kindle from his work bag the other day, and I opened up a zipper and came across what looked like an engagement ring. He has casually brought up marriage and weddings the past couple months, saying things like, if we get married, can we have so-and-so play our wedding? But I took those comments as jokes, not necessarily thinking that he was thinking of proposing. I only know this is an engagement ring because it looked exactly like what I described one time. I once mentioned how I don't want a diamond because they're too expensive for my liking. And this ring was a red jewel, red is my favorite color, with a black dragon band. I am obsessed with dragons. My issue is, I'm not sure I'm ready for marriage. We currently live with my parents because we lost our jobs when the pandemic hit and couldn't afford rent. I absolutely love this man, but I have so many worries. I don't know if I'm just overthinking, especially because he hasn't proposed yet, so it's not guaranteed he will. But for some reason, whenever I think about marriage, I just get really anxious. My parents did not have a good marriage and were constantly fighting, so I think I'm letting my worries of a failed marriage prevent me from being happy about this. Just gonna put this out there, getting engaged doesn't mean getting married immediately. You could be engaged 5 years before even thinking about planning a wedding, or even longer. I have a friend who has been engaged since 2001. Not a typo, 2001. My hubby's aunt was engaged for 50 years. At that point, at least one of them doesn't actually want to get married. Marriage doesn't mean wedding. They could have gone to the court and gotten all the legal benefits by now. Edit, I'm referring to this comment about a couple waiting 20 plus years to get married without filing any legal partnership. I'm getting replies about common law marriages in 3-year engagements that do not apply here. Blue Moon Teen says, I actually think it's a really good thing your boyfriend was nonchalant about it. It shows that he's thinking about this and has made up his mind that you are the right person. That being said, you also have to process this. Being engaged doesn't always mean straight to marriage. It could take days, weeks, months, years, etc. I think if you want your marriage to be successful, a plan will always help out to put things into perspective and motion. A plan is a good idea. Thank you. I like the idea of a longer engagement. At least it would give us time to get our stuff together and once again get our own place. My husband and I were engaged for 2.5 years before we just went ahead and had a courthouse wedding. We took our time to get to the right times in our lives. There is no need to rush, but don't wait 10 years either. Even if they did wait 10 years, what difference does it make if they're happy? I guess it is okay, but one does start to wonder if marriage is on the cards at all. Having said that, of course marriage isn't necessary. I know couples who have been together for decades and going strong without signing papers. If you're worried about him proposing when you aren't ready, bring up the timeline you want for engagement and marriage and what needs to happen for you to be comfortable with those steps. After 2 years with my boyfriend at the time, we were on a trip and I brought up how I wasn't ready for marriage until we had stable jobs. Unbeknownst to me, he had a placeholder ring on him just in case the time was right. He decided to wait. Now we're engaged at 3 years together and because we finally got stable jobs. Just let him know how you feel. Ages? Are you going to want to marry him eventually? If the answer is yes, I would opt for a long engagement. If you turn him down, he might propose again. If the answer is no, please, please, please don't get engaged if you don't mean it. You will cause pain. If you truly are not sure whether you'll ever marry this guy, just tell him you found it and you're not sure if you want to get married. You'll save him the embarrassment of proposing before you're ready. And OP replies, I'm 22 and he is 25. I definitely see myself with him in the long run. I just have so many bad thoughts about marriage due to my parents. OP, my fiance and I are the same way. Both of ours divorced multiple times and very messy. We did individual and doing couples counseling to work through it. It's been very helpful. It helped us to learn what a good marriage should be and how to act, which is difficult when you've never had positive examples. And now on to the update. He ended up proposing to me 2 days ago, and I said yes. After sharing a wonderful day celebrating and telling our family, I talked to him about my hesitancy and my worries of marriage. He was so nice about it, and said we could take this engagement as long as I want, and that he was just happy to have made that commitment with me. So yeah, thanks again everyone. Congratulations. I'm really glad you told him about how you were feeling about marriage. I had similar anxieties about the institution itself based on my parents' horrible divorce and the subsequent damage they both did on my brother and I. It's something that I was so worried about and felt like we had to have all our issues sorted out before the wedding day. Turns out, what we really needed was therapy, me, and communication, both of us. So I did that, and we talked about things, and worked on how to argue in healthy ways, and how to support each other even when things got hard. We were engaged for 2 years, and have been married for 4. My marriage isn't perfect, but we love each other, and we're committed to choosing each other every day, and on knowing we're imperfect, and working on things when we need to. So keep talking to him, and about how you're feeling, and if it feels right, maybe consider some therapy so you can process your own feelings about it. It did wonders for me. As a quick reminder, you being engaged does not mean you have to get married in a specific time frame, but people will keep asking when the wedding is. Keep that in mind. And congratulations, OP. May your marriage be long and happy. The answer to that could be as soon as when we're ready and can afford it. Also, another good answer might be when the pandemic restrictions are relaxed a bit and we can have a good party. Posted by user Treyway Incel BRT, titled, "My brother is an incel and I fear for the security of my friend and I." I, 16 female, have a brother, 17, who is an incel. I discovered this years ago when I used his PC because mine was broken. He had left his Reddit page open and I snooped. I know I shouldn't, but I'm glad I did, and at the same time, I wish I hadn't. Seeing the things he had posted or commented/interacted were disgusting. I don't wish to repeat it, but it was hardcore incel crap. I had never noticed this kind of behavior with him, so I really wanted it to be a troll. But to this day, he is still frequently posting terrible stuff there, so I guess he isn't just a very dedicated troll. I know this because after discovering his Reddit username, I decided to create an account and keep an eye on him. Last year, I even started fearing him when he interacted with something about girls having to lose their V-card to their family members, and there was some nasty incest things in the comments. From that moment on, I started locking my bedroom door and not going out with him anymore. The problem starts now. My friend A, 17 female, has a lot of problems at home, and is very close to my mother who also has depression. They spend a lot of time talking about their problems, and she is considered basically her second daughter. She was recently kicked out of the house and is staying with us. My mum, being an essential worker, spends all day working and sometimes doesn't even come home, but she makes sure to get us some food and money. I've been noticing that my brother has been talking with A lot. It makes a little bit of sense since they share a lot of interests. A is basically a cosplayer, goth chick, loves games and animes. I'm not into any of those things, so they spend time together and it wouldn't be something bad. But I have seen him posting a lot about how he has the perfect female sleeping on next door, and bragging to his friends about it. Like I said, I never noticed incel behavior in him. He can hide it well enough. I honestly don't know how a guy like him turned into something like that. He goes out with some friends, went to parties, had a girlfriend for some time, and can socialize pretty well. A doesn't seem to notice it either, and telling her or my mum about it is not an option since they already have enough problems to deal with. I don't feel like making A think her only safe place now isn't so safe, or making my mum stress over my brother. Recently, I've noticed him talking about stealing clothes from A in his posts, and since her laundry is ours now, it was a pretty easy thing to do. I decided to ask A how many clothes she brought with her, and when she said the numbers and I checked it, some of her underwear weren't there. Later, guess who posted about stolen panties? I honestly don't know what to do. I've already started doing the laundry fast so he doesn't get a chance to steal. She sleeps with me with the door locked and is never alone with him. Is there something more for me to do? He posts a lot about owning virginity and sex to women. What if he tries something? Should I confront him? And in the comments, Thrillsy says, "Tell your mother." Your brother is a damn near an adult and is old enough to know that kinda crap he's posting online is absolutely disgusting. He's also old enough to know that stealing your friend's underwear is wrong. If I was your friend and I found out what your brother was doing and then found out that you knew and didn't tell me or your mother, I would feel absolutely betrayed and like I couldn't trust you because you withheld information that I could have used to help keep myself safe. You owe it to your friend to tell her. You owe it to your friend to tell your mother. You are not keeping her safe by keeping this information secret. You are not doing her any favors by confronting your brother. In fact, in confronting your brother, you might just give him a heads up to hide the evidence better in case you tell your mother. You are not doing your mother or brothers any favors by not telling your mother. In fact, if what you were so worried about him doing does come to pass, then your mother will have a lot more to worry about than if you do tell her. If you don't tell her, she can't do anything to protect you or A, and she can't do anything to try and help your brother stop this disgusting behavior. If you do tell her, she can protect you and A, and she can at least try to help your brother change his behavior. It will be up to him to truly change. It cannot be forced. This is kind of a big deal. Let your mother know. It's not for you to decide what she can or can't handle. She may surprise you. She may also be able to steer or force your brother into dealing with this in therapy. If you confront your brother, he will just hide his behavior better, so maybe reconsider. This is, quite frankly, terrifying. I doubt he'd go as far as to harm either of you, but he should get help for even having this mentality in the first place. Depending on how close you guys are, I say either very gently confront him about it, or talk to your mother about how your brother has been acting weird, maybe without giving her the full scoop. And OP replies, "I don't feel worried too much about myself, to be honest. I can defend myself pretty fine, since I'm stronger and know how to fight. But seeing his frequent posts about A has made me very aware and scared. I think confronting him may be the only solution, but I also fear what he may do. He's normally a pretty calm guy, but just like the incel stuff, I don't know exactly if it's his true self. First thing you do is document every horrible thing he's said, screenshots and such, with metadata included. Then save it to a password-protected account in the cloud. Then sit down with your mother and show it to her and explain the situation if she doesn't understand Reddit or incel culture. Then ask what she wants you to do. I understand you not wanting to burden her, but this is literally her job as your mother. She literally signed up for this. You can also suggest that the two of you confront him together, and you should insist to her that she get therapy. And also, I see. Well, if you can take care of yourself, then definitely confront him. But I'll advise you to be very calm and collected about it. Try not to antagonize him. Hope it all goes well. I'm pretty invested and worried. And OP says, I think I will. My mother always offered us mental help with therapists and stuff like that, which we both go to. I guess it's something he could talk about with his. And there's an update in the post. Update. I talked to him. I got anxious of all the answers and decided to talk to him since this wasn't a matter to do later. I already had screenshots and other stuff from his Reddit, so yes, the proof is safe. It may not be the correct action, but honestly, I don't care. I confronted him in the most calm way possible. He looked extremely shook, and when I started showing him the stuff I had collected from 2 years back, including the underwear bragging, he started to cry. It was the most stressed I had seen my brother in years, pulling his hair and yelling that he is disgusting on the ground. Honestly, I wasn't expecting all of this. After a lot of yelling, he calmed down, and I started to ask why he did all of this and why he was crying too. You may call me a hypocrite, but he's still my brother. I'll ask people to stop sending me messages telling me to kill myself because I'm enabling a predator, or that I'm lying because I'm jealous of their relationship. I'll keep it short since I just want to sleep now and not think about anything. He was taken advantage of. He said his girlfriend took advantage of him when they're together and had pictures. He showed me their messages of her blackmailing him of a lot of stuff. They used to do sports together, and that's why he quit. He didn't want to tell me and our mum because he thought we wouldn't care. He went to the internet and has vented there since then. He knew it was wrong, and he doesn't believe in those morals. He gave me back the underwear, and it was untouched. I said we had to talk to our mother, and he started having another panic, but agreed if I didn't tell everything. He will search for help. Thank you for the most of you who didn't tell me terrible stuff. Good night. And now on to the actual update. So a bunch of things happened after I made my first post, and honestly, after all the people harassing me and my family in messages, I really thought about just solving it and deleting this account. But I feel like I owe to some people who were actually helpful, and not just saying, you and your brother should be killed. Anyway, to the events that happened after my brother told me he was taken advantage of by his ex, we told our mum and my friend, which by the way, he apologized by himself before we even said anything. My mum was shocked. She didn't know if she felt disgusted or angered. She beat my brother pretty bad. Even though we tried to hold her back after she read all the disgusting things he posted, but later she broke down. She apologized. She really was sorry, and my brother accepted the apology. My friend decided she would still stay with us since she was also a victim of abuse, and felt connected to my brother. Honestly, I feel like my brother is once again with me. We also discovered he had tried to off himself a lot of times, which was more heartbreaking and scary since we never knew about that and probably wouldn't be able to do anything. He started doing therapy with a different psychologist and seems to be improving. My mother already filed the papers to go to court against his ex, with all the blackmailing and stuff she sent him as proof. It's a lot of information, and I know that, and thank you to those who have helped. I won't be active here again. Bye. I'm sorry, did you say your mother beat your brother? So much she had to be physically pulled off him? Are we just meant to gloss over your minor brother being physically assaulted here and act like this is a happy ending? Bruh, that one little piece tells me there is a crap ton of info we are missing. My mother was hardly a winner as a single mum, but even she wouldn't have beat me so bad, someone had to pull her off. I wish I could talk to this young man. I get the feeling he isn't an incel. Yeah, so you just brushed off the whole your mum beating your brother thing? It sounds like your whole family needs therapy because none of what you said is healthy behavior. You guys need a social worker because you have an extremely screwed up family life. As a social worker, I'm not taking this one. Eek. And for professional reasons, this is a joke, and I would not turn away an actual client with this situation. G'day there guys, and that's the end of today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it and were entertained by today's bloody good content. As always, I want to do a quick shout out and a thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your beautiful faces and names will be up on screen right now. Haven't forgot about you guys. Sorry, I was taking a little break there. So yeah, if you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. If you want to be on this screen, there's links down to the description below where you can sign up and help support the channel and all future projects that I'm going to be doing on this one. With all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I'll see you in the next episode, and I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you.